legislation he's talking about is to capture carbon. It's basically putting catalytic converters on these big, help me here, engineers, is that correct?
More or less.
More or less putting big catalytic
Well,
converters on these coal fire scrubbers
Mhm.
to collect the carbon. That's, what's the percentages? They're saying that alone will make, and you gotta realize 2/3 of our electricity is coal fired.
You can lose 10 to 20% on a particular plant of its capability to produce electricity.
Well, then TVA is gonna spread all that carbon all over the country like they did with the ash, so why not just let it go up in the air?
I would tell you, this is a website that you can go to, and Jared and I was talking about this before the meeting. It's a website where you can go to, and they made it very easy for you to contact your congressman. It's called www.ourenergy.coop. That's www.ourenergy.coop. That co-op's kind of different because everybody used to a .com or .gov or something like that. So just make sure you put in the .coop. And it's pretty easy. It'll take you right to links to you can contact your congressman. That's where you can make a difference. If you really truly want to make a difference, that's who you need to contact. At least one I'm hearing, and we go all over the country trying to keep abreast of this, and this is what we do at Fort Loudon, trying to stay ahead of the game for you guys. That's the reason we put that fuel cost adjustment breakdown on your bill, so you'll know what you're spending. We don't want to lie, we don't want to hide anything to you. We want to educate you so you know the issues. Is you go here, you talk to your congressman, because potentially you can see price increases of 40%. Literally. Now, I don't know the exact figure, I don't have a crystal ball here, but that's what I'm hearing. It's 40% increases if some of this legislation passes. Now, the environmentalists, Greenpeace, or whatever they call themselves, Sierra Clubs, they don't care, So, we're just saying, at least I don't think our congressmen, at least in this state, are for this, from what I'm hearing, but, there's others around the country that are, so we have to be very cautious. We know that something has to be done, but move slowly and evaluate. Be careful what you pass, because it impacts all of us, our future generations, our kids. We're fighting for our kids right now. So just be smart about it. And that's exactly what we do here. We're looking for better processes. Chad and I, we all meet all the time. How can we do it better? How can we do it cheaper? And that's what we're gonna do. That's one way we can reduce costs for you guys. You may not see it immediately, but we're working towards that. We're looking at cost structures, rate structures, and we flip it. We make it more attractive to you guys. We'll reduce your costs in the coldest months, like December and January, or the hottest months, so we're looking at those things too. We're doing what we can possibly do to help you too. Now, you may not realize it. A lot of times I don't comment because I don't want to get twisted, but I'm glad you came here tonight so we can talk about these issues. And anytime you want to come in here, my door's always open.
One thing too, Jim, on the coal-fired plants, China is also competing for American coal, and they're putting one coal-fired steam plant online every 7 days in China. Every 7 days, one goes online.
I think it's a little less than that, Eric. I think it's more like every 4 or 5 days.
You can't breathe over there, so.
No, less than 7 days.
But that's the
about it.
whole picture, that's where our money's going, that fuel surcharge, to buy that expensive coal, as Jim.
One other thing too, a lot of people don't realize, what is it, 30-something% of water generated power, hydropower, wasn't available last year because of the drought.
50%, but there's 50% reduction,
50%.
yeah. There's 50% was all they got compared to.
And TVA has to buy that power
Yeah.
from somebody else on the open market to fill the gap.
And that's not back. We've had a lot of rain, but it'll be years.
It'll be a long time before it's back in,
They will not be to 100% this year.
And it was colder than usual winter too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if something's not done, people just won't have to deal with that. We're gonna be like a third world country one day.
Well, it's kind of funny, we always wish for a world economy. I always heard that growing up as a kid. We want everybody to be like us. Everybody's getting like us now. They're consuming as much as we are. And now I'm like thinking, well, you know what? I wish it wasn't like us, but that's just reality.
Yeah, people, if average people can't pay their electric bill.
It's getting very expensive. But, it's a good commodity if you look at it. It's still high. I mean, but I think if we can adapt and use technologies. Now, through the stimulus, I will tell you this. I don't know the whole details, but through the stimulus package, there is going to be some grant money for weatherization. And going on more in a couple, 2-3 weeks, we're working with statewide, TECA through them, and hopefully there's gonna be some money out there for weatherization projects, and hopefully we can pass that on to our customers. That will be some money to help them out, trying to make their homes more energy efficient, but I just don't know the details.
I read one while back, back in the later 1800s, that in New York City, they was so worried that in another 50 years, they was gonna have horse manure piled up 40 feet in each street. It never happened. Something else come in and took its place. So hopefully, we got some scientists that can bring something up to get rid of all this stuff and keep us on our way.
Exactly. And I just want you, I don't want, you know, and I've seen some of you guys out on the corner out here, but I just want you to know, we do everything that we can possibly do, to keep your costs down. And we actually, that's part of the reasons we're looking at one-man service crews to respond quickly, with less man, you know, that all reduces our overhead cost. And, you know, we basically operate on 20 cents on the dollar, 22 cents, you know, so for every 78 cents of every dollar's going to TVA, we operate with 22 cents of that, or 22% basically. So our margins are very slim. We don't make as much as what everybody says. And I've heard comments that said, well, some guy said that we could absorb that. Well, I'll tell you from a business standpoint, we would operate for a few months if we absorbed this fuel cost adjustment, which runs into the millions of dollars. We'd be shutting our doors in a very short period of time. Our job is.
Loudon have to get their power from TVA?
Yes, sir, we do. Yeah. And quite frankly, if you look out on the open market, the only other cheaper right now that I know of is American Electric Power, which they're sitting on the Appalachian Coal Reserves, and their transportation costs are cheaper. I think we measured my mother's bill, and it was about, what was it, like 8.082, Sheila?
Pretty close to what
And it's pretty close to what we're going down to next, on this next cycle. But there again, they do theirs monthly, that fuel cost adjustment. So I think that's what TVA is going to, so that impact will not be as harsh as what we're used to. So it'll be a little bit more levelized. It's not gonna go away. I'm not gonna tell you it is, but it's not gonna go away.
Okay, Athens Utility Board, they get their power from TVA, correct?
Absolutely.
Why are their rates a lot cheaper than Fort Loudon?
Well, and I'm gonna tell you one thing, I don't know if the rate is cheaper, but I can tell you, our business model is based on customer density. And this is what I do for the federal government. They may have 20 people per customer mile, we may have 5 people per customer mile, but I think ours is about 10.
10 to 11.
10 to 11. Theirs could be double that. So their density, you know, they get more revenue in per mile of line. That's basically just a business model. So they get a lot more revenue in than we do. So, you know, we got cost of services to provide you reliable electricity. We still have to cut the right of way. We still have to string the wires.
We go all the way from behind Foothills Mall, all the way to Chad. how far?
Well, actually, all the way from North Shore Drive, if you're on North Shore Drive, just on the other side of the lake, it's Fort Loudon, all the way to Polk County, all the way to McMinn County, North Carolina up towards the top of the world. I mean, we have 750 square miles of service territory.
Why don't we carry, we've got Loudon Utilities right here in Walmart, why don't Fort Loudon carry that and help our mileage?
Their
Well,
rate's
I think-
actually higher than ours.
You know, they are actually per kilowatt hour.
But I'm
Per kilowatt
saying,
hour.
why
I'm saying
don't,
if you're saying
if
the
we've
small
got,
area,
if we've
why
got
can't-
these people, that helps the consumer, right?
Absolutely, it does.
So
It does.
why does Loudon Utilities over here?
Well,
right
we've
here?
talked about that, and I think you'll see more and more of those mergers happening in the future. They've already started out in Texas, where I work with some, we merged with AEP merged with CP&L. You know, it's basically economics, you know, more, you know, it's cheaper per customer. So you're right, if we merge with,